so much for staying with the Morning Cafe. And this morning we're talking matters business. And you know, the business landscape in the country is changing, and small businesses are under pressure to scale up, but not just to survive, but also to do it profitably. And you know, the question you're asking this morning is, how can digital solutions help? And Patrick Muraguri, CEO of Go Business Systems, is joining us yet again to have this conversation, just to help us understand how digital solutions can help the small medium enterprises. Karibu sana tena.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you. All right. Managing your small business remotely, Patrick, and when we're talking about with digital solutions, what does it look like exactly?
Firstly, let me begin by saying remote management of your business is not just a trend. It is something that you need to do as a small business owner. You need to find a way of getting information about your business, what's happening in your business remotely and efficiently and effectively. That way you can make better decisions in your small business. All businesses have a given amount of information. They've got information on sales, they've got information on cash flow that's moving in their business. You need to have that information coming to you on a device remotely so that you can make better decisions and you can overcome the pressure of competition. For instance, your small business can be more effective and more competitive if you can get the information remotely.
So how can one track now how he or she gets this information while they're working remotely, and just to see how their business is doing really?
Exactly. That's a very good question. A remote system is just like a remote device. Something that gives you information on your phone. What are the sales like this hour? Where is the cash flow this hour? Or how did I do yesterday? That is the connectivity you need. You need that information connecting to your device so that you can see it, you can see what's happening, and you can make a quick decision. You can see what else is needed, and you can act quickly.
I want us to get practical with that. You know, a business owner, say, running a retail shop, let's say consulting firm. So what are the top digital tools that now they should be using or tapping into just to make sure that they are tracking their businesses?
A tool that gives you your stock levels. And whenever some items are sold, a tool that tells you, look, you have this much stock, this much stock remaining. You need to replenish this amount of stock, or where your money is, or do you have enough money to buy the next level of stock? That is a tool. It's a financial management tool. Okay, I can't mention all the names of the products themselves.
Give us top three.
Top three.
Yes.
Well, one of them is ours. Ours is called Go Business Systems, Boresha Biz. But there's others. There's other competing ones. They're coming, more and more are coming into the market. But I would say a tool that gives you information on your financial aspects of your business should be a high priority. A tool that gives you information on the sales, for instance, how the sales are going, is another high priority. A tool that gives you information on what your customers are saying, how they are responding to your message. That should be a high priority. So those are three high priority digital systems that you should have giving you information daily on your device.
All right.
That way you can make quick decisions, very timely.
With these tools now that we are talking about, you know, tracking is very, very important. And I want us to now consider that an SME owner, maybe in Mashinani, maybe have a Go business, how it operates. But looking at all those available options, the digital tools that are available for SME owners, how do they navigate these tools?
First of all, navigating them is assisted. You will be assisted, for instance, by the vendor. All vendors, or I suppose most vendors, should be able to show you how to navigate your way around the tool that they're offering. Secondly, if you Google, if you search, you will find a tool that addresses exactly what you're looking for. Customer service tools, digital tools. For instance, stock management, digital tools. You can actually find out which they are, call them up, or just look up their ads, or look up their comments, the comments of people who've used them, what we call the ratings. How do other users rate them? That should be giving you enough information as to which ones you should actually talk to and ask about the cost. A phone call away, ask about the cost. Is it available online only, or is it also available remote? Then if you're far away, if you don't have access to online capability all the time, can you work offline as well? Mm-hmm. If you're up in a rural area, you might not have access to online connectivity throughout. So a good question would be, can I work on this tool remotely? Can I work on this tool offline? Can it work offline? What can it give me offline? You'll be able to make a choice for your SME. But I like the idea of the retail shop because we have some examples of people who used to entrust their staff to managing and ordering their stock. And once they got on board with our tool, they could actually find out how much stock is remaining and even order before the staff in the business are aware. And one of the good things is that you don't have to be at your business all the time. You could be away. You could be away doing customer communications or meeting your customers, but still get the information on your device and surprise your staff that, yes, we have new stock. Is it? Sorry.
It's all right. You know, when you talk about, as you explain, I'm thinking about there's a concern that when you're talking about digitizing SMEs and businesses, yes. Some say that it favors more these large corporations as compared to these SMEs. And even as you talk about, you have to Google, you have to do research, and I know you're passionate about AI. But now what happens to that, an SME owner in mashinani, akutuna traditional methods to just try and scale up their business. Now, is it true that for digitization, it works mostly for larger corporations?
For larger corporations, it will process, or digital systems will process a bigger variety of information. Like, for instance, even your HR department and so on. But for small businesses, there is still a minimum amount of information that you can get through the help of a digital system. Like I mentioned, sales. Sales that are happening. Every business has a sales activity happening. There are customers who you've onboarded, they're ordering and so on. Likewise, every business, including SMEs, have cash they're using. They've got a flow of cash. Now, that flow of cash, it's an important thing for the small business to understand that if they can get all the information they need about how it's flowing on a day-to-day basis, they'll make better choices. So, big corporations, yes, they will even have teams which need to communicate. So there's team-based digital systems. They're designing across different teams, project teams, and so on. So for them, there will be more complicated systems, yes, more suited to their needs. But for the SME, there is still something you can get assisted with by a digital system. So my advice would be, even if you're in mashinani, be a go-getter, information seeker. Seek information, and you may find that actually you didn't need even to employ a couple of people or a company to do your bookkeeping. All that can be done. But the bookkeeping is necessary, even for your tax returns. But you may find that bookkeeping may not have to be an accountant somewhere. Maybe there's a digital solution which is doing your bookkeeping every day. It's recording your sales. It's recording your purchases. It's recording your stock levels. So it pays. If you are an information seeker, please, I advise SMEs, however far you are, information is for everybody. And if you're seeking it, you will find it. There'll be something appropriate for you.
Now that you're talking about bookkeeping, and I understand it's very, very crucial and important for these businesses, maybe you can give us a breakdown of how now an SME owner who wants to do bookkeeping for themselves, now the steps that they should be taking for a successful bookkeeping and tracking of their businesses.
I would say every business needs to have some daily records. Daily records, which are, in the accounting sense, they're called bookkeeping records. Okay. There's the cash sales, the sales that have been sold in cash or in Pesa or whatever. There's the purchases you've made and the expenses that you've paid on that day. So if those three items are recorded on a platform that is hosted, by the digital tool provider, like for instance, if they are hosted in a server of the digital, like we do, then you already have your part of your problem of bookkeeping is already done. It's already done. So, and like I say, it is necessary to do bookkeeping. Bookkeeping gives you information. But if it is digitally available, that information is also available for you to retrieve in real time. You don't have to go back to the accountant at the end of the month. How did I do during the previous month and so on. So bookkeeping is all about record keeping on matters that affect your cash flow, your stock, any financial information, recording it. That is bookkeeping. And every business needs some level of bookkeeping.
It shouldn't
The
be
less,
ignored.
sorry.
It should not be ignored.
No. The more you ignore what's happening, the more you don't record, the more the problems that could be creeping in. You won't know where your money is at any one point. You won't know what made you more profit or what made you a loss. You won't know whether this month was better than last month. You won't know whether you've got enough money to pay the expenses that you need to pay this month on their due dates, for instance. Rent is paid maybe on the 5th of the month. You won't know that you'll have enough money for then. Or you can't even go to the next step. You budget ahead of time. And that tool could help you budget. And that's what we do. We help the SME also budget ahead of time. You mentioned about AI. And it's good to mention AI because that's the way we're going. AI can actually project your budget for this coming month or even 3 months ahead. So it has the capability of processing ahead of time, giving you forward information. So that might be the next step that you'll take. After doing your bookkeeping, the next thing. But AI, yes, I would say first start with what's going on in your business. Do you have that information? Do you know that there are systems which can do it more easily for you? In fact, some of the systems will process that information. We process the information before it comes to your digital device so that you can get part of the solution, part of what it is you should take as the next step. So not only is it raw data, the records of stock and so on, but there's also the processing of the stock situation, the purchases situation, the payable situation, processing them so that what you get is a very good picture of what decision to make. Yes, so it's not just raw data, it processes for you.
How about now business owners who are not tech savvy, but they're hearing about AI? I know you're passionate about AI, but not everyone, every business owner knows how to use technology, and now we're bringing in the aspect of AI. Now, how can they just get used to using AI to just scale their businesses, as you say?
I would say you've got to take one step at a time. Don't stay where you are. Where you are is not comfortable. People might think it's a comfortable situation to be where you are. Break through that. Want to move out of it. Break out of it. And you will get more and more confidence. So confidence is not given to you. Confidence is something you build by taking one little step and getting the courage to take the next step and the next step and the next step. So you will be more confident as time goes on. Just like mobile phones. Mobile phones, we used to be comfortable with our Mulika Mwizis, that they gave us everything, even a ringtone and so on. But when the smartphones came, we all wondered, how are we going to use it? And everybody now is very comfortable with using a smartphone, not just for communication, social media, WhatsApp and so on, but that comfort you have already with a smartphone. Be ready to take the next step. Can it give you more? Can it give you information about this SME that you're running? And incidentally, there are people who walk away from their business. They are doing a job somewhere, but they have started an SME.
Yeah.
So for those people, they might even be faster to take the plunge and go on to a remote management of their business, because they know they're not going to be there every day. And the business needs to run well. And they've got a time frame. By the time he leaves or she leaves his job, you can't work forever. You can't be employed forever. By that time, they want a business that works well. Works well. Okay. So those people, they may have a business in remote areas, but they know they need it to work well. They need the stock to be managed properly. They need the cash flow, clear information. There's other reasons why you will feel encouraged as an SME owner to go remote management of your business. If you're constantly running out of money in the business and having to put in more money in your SME, every so often, 20,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, 50,000, 250,000, that in itself should give you reason to take a step.
Yeah.
How can this business run better than just being spoon-fed every day? All business, it's a fact that all businesses can be self-sustaining. So those people, they may be ahead because they know that constraint. They can't be at the business. They come there every 2 weeks or 1 month, but it has to run. Those people have an incentive already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, how can these business owners upskill their team to ensure that they're also aware of this technology, digital solutions, even as the owner now, the CEO, monitors these things remotely? You know, he or she has a team somewhere. How can they now upskill them without breaking the bank?
I would say start by trying to learn it yourself. If you learn it yourself, you get the confidence to teach someone else. Or you'll get to the confidence to understand you actually don't need a team. This part is okay for you to
A one-man show?
Not everything. You need somebody doing the sales, for instance. But the internal information that you need to have, maybe if it's coming, and I talked about that information having been processed. So vendors of digital management systems will have processed that information in a way that you can understand, that you don't need somebody else in between. But having said that, yes, there will be some things that you will need to teach your team, like how to use the point of sale. Rather than just selling something, an item of stock, can they key it into this point of sale device? That kind of training might be very necessary from the word go. Key in every sale that happens in this business into this device, this point of sale device. That might be the kind of training that's needed at this stage. Yes, and that might not be very hard for your staff. Yes.
Now, what happens when something happens to the CEO? An emergency or something, and she or he is the only one who is tech savvy and knows how to run this business and track their sales. What happens?
Okay. Not all businesses can afford to have big teams waiting, teams being recruited in recruitment and so on. But I would say that the business owner needs to be aware that they need to maybe even train one of their children. One of their children, come and understand this thing. The earlier you understand it, the better the more comfortable the business owner will be. And we have come across businesses like that, where the daughter is happily excited that biashara ya mama siku hizi iko tech, you know, and they're taking over some of those things very, very happily.
Yeah.
Likewise, it could be a son who says, look, my dad's business has nothing, no systems. And they actually go and find out that, yes, maybe this is a system that's needed by my dad's business. So from there on, you're starting to get a teammate who will be able to learn ahead of time before they take over the business, or when you're away, they can see this information, they can process it, they can take a step. So, and we need to start thinking about generational SMEs. The more we think about generational SMEs, the more we take them seriously. As an SME is supposed to last into the generations. So think about it. What will happen to this SME? Is there somebody who in the family can start to learn how to use these devices? For the long term, that's very important. And some of those younger people might be the ones giving you ideas that you thought you knew, but they're able to process in a different way or faster and help you and help the business or the family.
Amazing. Yeah. I want us to go back to the point on AI. Maybe, do you see AI going mainstream, you know? When we talk about, we see Microsoft, maybe it launched something, a Copilot AI for businesses. So should SMEs just adopt the AI automation system, AI-driven automation system right now, or maybe wait until AI becomes mainstream, because now AI is also evolving?
There are parts of AI that you can use even at this stage.
Yeah.
For instance, ask a question. Ask a question, you get 10 answers. So maybe that's what you should be using at this stage. It'll give you 10 answers to a particular question. How can I improve my sales? I'll give you 10 answers. All right? That could be the entry level. You get more confident and you customize. You might also need to customize the results, the feedback you get from AI. Customize it and be ahead of even AI, for instance, in that instance. But I would say AI should be looked at different levels. When you talk about Microsoft, you're definitely not talking about SME level. So we can't jump and expect that we are going to automate our SME, for instance, or use AI for every decision. So nothing is built in a day. Like I said, even smartphones. We didn't know how much we would be using them. We didn't know that 10 years ago, we would be using our smartphones for so many things. So many things. Now we are paying, making payments, we are banking. We've got a banking app, and all banks actually have banking apps now. Yeah. So you don't have to go to the bank to transact. So it's a process. It's a process, and it's worthwhile. Don't be left behind, but don't jump too high. It might be a frustration, or you may not find it useful. But just a step at a time. All
right. All right, we are talking about managing a small business remotely with digital solutions with Patrick Muraguri, CEO of A Good Business. We are taking a very short break at this point. Of course, stay with us for this conversation.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's mind. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Morning Cafe. This morning, we are talking about managing your small business remotely with digital solutions. And Patrick Muraguri is here to help us with this conversation. Patrick, before we went on that very short break, we were talking about how Microsoft has come up with a Copilot AI for businesses. And while you were explaining it on the side, I also asked about if this is something that also small businesses can gain from. So I wanted to ask the AI tools that now you would recommend for SMEs to tap into, because Copilot is an AI tool. We have ChatGTP. So which ones would you recommend for SMEs that would be easily understandable and doesn't really need a huge tech background?
Copilot by Microsoft is definitely one of those. ChatGPT is the other one. There could be others coming up pretty quickly. They're all, it's a race now for AI tools. Yes, those are tools that an SME can latch onto, can actually even test.
Which one have you seen work the best for SMEs?
Okay. I've used Copilot to help me draft emails or help me draft content. So I would say Copilot, Microsoft Copilot is something that you can try straight away to generate your content. Okay, that will stop you or ease your cost of engaging a content creator or a drafter of responses to your customer inquiries, or maybe what we call an outbound. It can give you a frame that you can be sending out to anybody who has asked a question, say on your website, or who has sent you a WhatsApp message, tell me about this. So yes, definitely Copilot is customizable to your need, to an SME's needs at this stage. ChatGPT is more like a question. Like I said, if you want to ask, how can I increase my sales? That's a good question to give to ChatGPT. How can I increase my sales? I run a boutique business. How can I increase your sales? Throw that question. See the 10 answers it gives you, and see which one is readily usable. Yes. So yes, like I said, they're coming rapidly because this is a way to go. The good thing about that AI is that it has reduced your need to have an extra person to do that work. Okay, an extra person to draft that response to your customer query, or to draft that content. And that is interesting. I mean, that is useful. If you're going to save the cost of hiring somebody, or you're going to get it done so quickly, without overnight. Now that's good. That's good news for an SME. Responding quickly at low cost, or no cost at all. So yes, AI is all about doing things through the platforms which are growing, AI platforms. It's all about having them done for you. In some cases, automatically. So that is why we say automation. Automation is having something done without human intervention. So what you would have spent time doing or asking someone to do for you, a real person, it's being done without your intervention, without your human input.
Yeah.
So yes, AI and automation, they're more or less one does the other. One does the other. AI helps you automate. And there are more instances why an SME needs to automate some things. And actually what has happened is some of the remote business management systems have already automated some calculations for you. In our case, we automate a calculation on your cash flow position for you. So there's a bit of automation there. So it just be in the process, be alert to what's happening, be alert to what's useful. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. This is the way to go.
AI or digital?
Digital, merging or moving into AI, moving into automation. It's a process. So have no fear. There's probably something in it for you as an SME owner. Incidentally, business owners are entrepreneurs. They look for opportunity.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity to get something done at a lower cost, that's a good idea.
Yeah. You know, there's something that has come to my mind even as we continue this conversation. We have cases where sales are getting lost. You're making sales, but you can't see where this money is going to, or there's no direct record where this money went to. So does digital solutions now come in to save this situation that is here?
Absolutely. I mentioned about a point of sale device. That is where you log in every single sale.
In an instance where you have people you've hired for these SMEs, you know, now how do you track to know that they made this sale? You're not there, you're not on the shop, that they made this sale, but it wasn't recorded. Okay. Yes.
All right. First of all, the POS is a help in that direction. Training your staff is another help in that direction. Honesty in your staff is another step in that direction. Managing how you can cross-check. Like, for instance, if something was sold, how come it was not recorded in the POS? Okay, and how come it's not in the stock? All right, how come it's not in the stock? If it's not in the stock, what happened? It wasn't what happened. So you have more ways than one to cross-check what actually happened. And in fact, you will get some, not all staff are bad. Not all staff are bad.
Yeah.
In fact, some of them have a lot of potential that is just waiting for you to utilize, to recognize and utilize. So there are staff who want to get into doing what you've asked them to do properly, correctly, and even giving you ideas how it can be done better. So yes, eventually you'll get a team, or you will end up with a team, or your team will develop into a trustworthy team that is also being supported by digital systems, right? And you are also getting information on your device, which can cross-check and confirm. There will be several ways to counter-check, but let's put it this way. It's a process as well. It's a process as well. But businesses that have got systems and have got good teams are more competitive, and they will probably do more sales. They'll grow their market share. And there'll be lots of customer success stories about that business. So it multiplies on itself. Multiplies on itself.
I want us to talk about profitability now at this point. You see, many entrepreneurs adopt these digital systems, but their profits really don't increase. So what's this missing link between profitability and also digitization?
Firstly, what the SME calls profit, is it really profit? Was it actually tracked, or is it just we feel we made more profit? the digital device helps you to count that profit to the final cent, the final shilling. So let's start with having a system that is actually tracking profit correctly. Okay? And then as we track that profit correctly, if we are not seeing it grow, probably the next step, or it gives you some insights or where to look next. Maybe your price is not right. Or maybe people are not selling at the right price. Maybe your team is giving discounts, for instance. So everything needs to match up. Was the profit calculated correctly? Did that money enter the M-Pesa pay bill or M-Pesa till? Is it in the bank? Okay, is that money in the bank? All right. The products that were sold, how much were they sold at? How much were they bought at? So it's easier now to come down and find out whether there was real profit, how much it was, whether it was actually captured, received, and then whether it was too low. Too low, then it's time to make another decision. Yes, maybe your prices need to be higher, or maybe even the market that you're targeting is not able to pay the right price that you need to make a profit. So maybe the choice you should be making is, where can I get a customer base that can pay the price that would make a profit for this business? So maybe it's time to now look and start pitching to a different customer segment that can afford that.
Yeah.
So I would say the digital system has played its part because it gave you the actual figure. Numbers don't lie, as we
It
say.
helps in also finding your target market?
No. First, the profit.
Okay.
First, the profit, the actual profit. Numbers don't lie. This was the profit. Was it a loss or not? The second thing it does, it has challenged you to take the next step. If you actually didn't make a profit, what should you do? And that's when you start thinking, or maybe if this customer base or segment could not pay this price that was profitable for you, maybe you should start going around for more profitable customers. So it challenged you. The digital system gave you the information that was able to challenge you. Maybe it's time to go and look for more profitable customers. And as you're doing that, the information is coming to your device. You can see what's happening back at the business.
So how do we now measure return on investment when you're using these digital solutions?
Okay. The cost that you incurred on maybe it was a subscription compared to the growth that you've made in terms of sales, in terms of profitability. Another way to look at it in terms of the losses that you saved. The losses that you saved. The losses that led you to always running out of money and having to put money back into the business from your pocket. Business owners know how much they've had to reinvest in the business, say in the last year, 2024. How many times, right? So don't ignore that. That could be your benchmark. So once you bring on board a new system, how many times less are you having to dig into your pocket? And how many times is the business, by how much is the business growing? By how much is the profit that you're making? So that's those all aspects of the gain that you're making from the investment. So compare those gains with the investment you made. The investment you made would be, in our case, it's not high, 800 shillings per month subscription. See how much you are saving, how much you're growing, how much you're managing your risks, and how much it's freeing your time. The other thing is that it frees your time. Your time has value. As a business owner, your time has value to think ahead. Think ahead, be strategic, or go and shop for better discounts. Go to the source of the inputs. If you can value that time, you will see that it is a gain. Probably a bigger gain than you think.
All right. Now, talk to us about the digital trends that small businesses should tap into. Maybe this year or maybe moving forward, now that you're talking about digitization in 2025, going more AI way. What can I now do to remain competitive in this market?
Okay. Firstly, we've talked a bit about it, or a lot about the financial area. The trend is start getting that financial side of your business managed or assisted by a digital system. That should be trend number one. Number two should be something to help you reach out to more customers. Okay. So on the one hand, you're managing your finances better. On the other hand, you're reaching out to a bigger customer base. You're selling more. So those two areas, I would say, would be the top two trends that you should get on board with. And building on that will be other product lines that you could bring in for the same investment or the same premises, for instance. Then the next would be growth. How can you grow your business? Add another premises, for instance. How can you grow your business? You're already on top of things. How can you now grow it to the next level? So I would say that's the sequence. First of all, the financial area. And I always come back to the financial area because it's normally something we don't get trained in. And it's normally something that's happening all the time in your business. Money is moving all the time. So money is being gained or being lost all the time. So that has to be number one. That has to be number one. The top trend should be get your financial management in control with some kind of digital system.
All right. When you talk about finances, they should get their finances managed by a digital system. We also have this concern of cybersecurity, where bigger security risks, have been posed to these SMEs who now want to shift to the digital system way. And we've also heard of cases where cyber fraud, where they're more predisposed to these SMEs. Now, that is a main concern. How can they now be assured that they are protected when they're going this digital way, that if they decide to have their finances managed by this digital solution, they're not going to incur losses with this?
Okay. Firstly, there are questions you can ask to the vendor. How is my data protected? How are my bankings, for instance, protected? These are questions you can ask directly to the provider and the provider or vendor. The provider should be able to give you answers directly. And if you feel that this is not adequate, please ask the next vendor. Secondly, all businesses must take a risk, but we say it is a calculated risk. It's a calculated risk. So if, for instance, you are doing mobile banking with one of the banks, okay, it would be good to find out what methods of protection are they using, right? Because you should link your bankings or your incoming cash flows to your bank. Bank is probably better protected. So you're adding stakeholders that have protections along the way. So it's not only you by yourself, you're also getting the protection of the bank that you bank with. But I would say you should have no fear. Should have no fear. All businesses must have these transactions. Check out your return on investment and make a decision. Should I fear or should I go for that return on investment? What should I take? Am I going to stay back and hold myself back because of the worry about the security? But having said that, especially all online systems are adopting their own security measures. All of them. Even your own provider for your app has adopted security systems. Your own WhatsApp system has adopted security systems. So this is something that's happening all the time. Everybody is improving.
Do you have a security system at Have a Go?
Yes. Yes, we do.
All right. With that said and done, maybe now you can tell us some of these mistakes that SMEs make when they're trying to shift to the digital way that you would advise should be avoided.
I would say, first of all, go with the most critical area and take advice. What is the most critical area to control? And I would say, without any doubt, your financial management. Go there first. There are some people who say, let's increase your sales. Let's increase your sales. Go into this customer segment. But all the while, what's happening in the back of it? The bare bones. Is money holding or is money getting lost? I would say the first mistake is to go for the wrong area. To digitize the wrong area, an area which you think is maybe it looks good, it's trendy, but really you should listen and find out what's the most critical area first. Ask. So don't just go in. What's the most critical area for your business? And if you are investing money into your business every so often, you should take that as a big pointer. That's the area you should be considering.
All right.
The other thing is, don't always trust yourself. Don't always trust yourself. You may choose to do things which are pleasing to you, but are they important? We always say that go for the important areas, but not everything is important. Make sure what you're working on is important, it's urgent, address it first. And then build on to the areas which are nice to have. They're nice to be with, they're trendy, talk about them and so on.
All right. Patrick, of course, you're winding up, but for business owners who want to start managing their businesses remotely but are second guessing about it, what advice would you give them?
First of all, this is not just a trend. This is a must-have for your business. Take it from me. This is happening. Please don't wait. Don't wait. Find out, can you manage your business better using some remote system, a remote device or a remote help? Find out. You will most likely find out that yes, the answer is yes, you can. So don't be held back. In fact, the longer you wait, the more things pile up on you. There's this problem as well as that problem and the other. So please don't take it as just something happening to others. Get in, find out, can you get help from some system to bring information that you need to make better decisions.
All right. Thank you so much. That is Patrick Muraguri, CEO of Have a Go Business Systems, talking to us about how you can manage your small business remotely with digital solutions. Asante sana, Patrick.
Thank you so much, Anne.
That brings us to the end of this conversation and to the end of this particular show today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Anne Odida. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Have a good day.